Good evening. A little bit of background on me. I've been the captain at Southeast Division, which is Manchester South to 105 Freeway and Alameda over to Vermont for the last 5 years. One of the things that I've focused on during that time is changing the relationship between the police department and the community. And I think that's very important. We get rated at times on productivity. I'm not doing too well right now. My arrests are down about 20%. That's because I believe that the best way is not arresting our way out.
Yeah.
We have in Watts right now a very significant program of relationship-based policing where we're putting police officers out to work with folks instead of taking them to jail, to work with kids in the schools, to work with students from USC and UCLA to mentor, to put kids into sports to keep them busy. And I can tell you that in Southeast, which is that area I described, right now our Part 1 crime is down 6%. In Watts, it's down 34%. Our violent crime is down 44%. I know it makes a difference. And it's down that much in Watts because that's where we have those officers working. There are so many problems with our system. But let me clarify a couple of things. First of all, you know I've seen a lot of videos. I was worried when I heard it was a video, because I didn't see it. But I didn't see anything disrespectful in there.
You didn't see all of it.
Okay, but I didn't see anything disrespectful. Those officers, and somebody made a comment that officer said he believes it's a waste of money too. I don't know if he does or doesn't, but the officers aren't there because they're choosing to be there. The officers are there because that's the direction they're given. Because when this first came about, we were told that we were going to have to do compliance checks on people. The compliance checks are part of the law. They're part of the probation. And they're a step to try and make sure that when people are released, since they're not supervised by parole, that there's some sort of a check to be done.
What is the procedure?
And I'll get to that in a second. And one of the things that we're trying to do is be fair, to go all the way across the board, so that we're making compliance checks with everybody. And those compliance checks are a couple of different things. One, and first of all, is to go and check and see if folks are going to the place that they say they're going to be and living there. And in the vast majority of the cases, we get there and we find an empty lot. We find that people there say, I don't know who you're talking about. And so a lot of people are not providing the correct address. When we do have our address, there are times where we go out and we conduct a search. That search is a legal search based on the probation. And then when you get on probation, you waive your right to a warrant of search. And so the officers were going there for that purpose. Now, the hard part of this, and this is why at times I wish I was a fireman, because I got to tell you, the hard part of this is trying to balance the officer's safety, because we don't know who we're going to deal with. We don't know how they're going to react to what we might find. So the safety of the officer balanced with the least amount of disruption in the location that we're going to. And that's very difficult.
That they're looking
and so
to go see
until we can get this ironed out and figure out, because it's new.
Has a file.
And we have a lot of training that we need to do with our officers. We do, and I know that. And I can tell you that there are certain aspects of probation, compliance checks that we need to have better information on. I'm sure there's some things that the courts need to rule on so that we know exactly what we need to do and what we can do and what we can't do.
So it's
and
unclear at this time.
We're working our way through this. I'm sorry you were embarrassed.
That's not what they're telling us though when we're coming home. They tell us we're going to report one time and we see nobody else. But then I got to report to the police and a probation officer. That's not what they're telling people when they're releasing us.
And maybe that's something else that we need to do.
Thank you for being sorry.
I am. Because we're not there to embarrass people.
But they're telling the parents too, because I'm her mother and I was there today. And I was asking questions. Okay, they're telling us that a probation officer comes with them, with the procedure.
That is one of the things that we are looking at doing, but it's not required.
Oh, well, that's what.
And the bottom line, the reality of it is, probation doesn't have enough people to send one with every contact that we make. I would prefer that. It's a probation. That's their expertise.
They know the people and they know the procedure.
Exactly. And so I agree, and I would prefer that. And I think that would be the more perfect world. Because, and every time I've been involved in any kind of a probation search or a parole search, I would always prefer to have the probation or parole officer because it is their expertise. A lot of times they know the people. They have an idea who you know they might be able to be more comfortable with and who they can't be. And so I know that this is not the perfect world. I can tell you that there's a lot of places that where we as LAPD, we as partners in law enforcement are doing a whole lot better than we were a long time ago. And we are going to continue to try and do better.
Thank you, Captain, for being here. And, you know, this is certainly not an easy topic. It's certainly something that we have a history, especially with the 20th anniversary of the civil unrest coming, not the kind of stories that we want to hear about. But part of why we're here tonight is to come up with solutions, work together towards advancing the right cause and the right solutions to make sure that this doesn't happen. Folks do not feel embarrassed in the future and that people's dignity is protected at all times.